Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Matt Simmonds, Product Manager at Bluesound. Thank you for joining us, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
Give us some background to start with for folks who aren't familiar with Bluesound. A little background about the company. You're part of a larger group, actually, Lenbrook Group of companies.
Yeah, that's right. It's good. It's a good question, or a good starting point, because our background is really important to what the brand is. So we, as you mentioned, we are part of the Lenbrook Group of companies, which also owns and develops NAD electronics and PSB speakers, two almost 50-year-old prestigious hi-fi brands. And so Bluesound Bluesound's part of that stable and comes from that same DNA. So so you can actually think of Bluesound very much as a hi-fi brand. And the ethos of the Lenbrook Group in developing NAD electronics and PSB speakers really translates over to our Bluesound lineup as well.
And you're based in Canada, and I guess that has something to do with the story we're telling here about the audio business there, what your focus is. Give us a little bit more about that before we talk about some specific products.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're based in Canada, and Canada has a pretty rich history, especially on the acoustic design side of things, like in speaker design. And our chief acoustic engineer, Paul Barton of PSB Speakers, was really part of I would say like a founding fathers group of people of acoustic designers in Canada who really with research and then of course trial and error and making great products have really developed an amazing loudspeaker sound and style that's actually typically Canadian. And so, from a Bluesound perspective, we were beneficiaries of all of that work over the last 50 plus years, absolutely. And it's just so interesting to me, especially on the loudspeaker side of things, how much goodness comes out of the Canadian market. So it's an interesting point.
Well, let's talk about some specific products that you have on the market, and we'll start off with the Bluesound Pulse 2i, which we've had a chance to take a look at. Give us the overview of what this particular speaker is all about.
Yeah. Great. Well, I mean, that dovetails really nicely from that previous point, because the Pulse 2i is an all-in-one speaker, really loudspeaker, but all-in-one amplifier and speaker solution, and it is our what we would call our premium all-in-one solution. So as far as the Bluesound range goes, we've got solutions for every room in terms of streaming audio, and the Pulse 2i is that large and in charge space filling all-in-one speaker, and it's designed acoustically by Paul Barton, by the man behind PSB Speakers, and so it really benefits, like I was saying, from a hi-fi approach to its sound design. It really benefits from those 50 plus years of research in acoustics, and for all intents and purposes, it is a hi-fi machine. So the Pulse 2i is the largest of our three all-in-one speaker solutions. It's very much meant to be flexible, like the whole ecosystem is. So many different ways to connect your music streaming sources to it, and then of course just large room-filling sound that comes out of it. So I mean, I don't know if you have more specific questions about it, but that's kind of the general overview of the Pulse 2i.
Let's talk about some of the things that set it apart from the competition. The multi-room speaker systems are growing in popularity. A lot of households have looked into them, and there have been some well-known brands out there. So tell us what distinguishes Bluesound.
Yeah. That's great. I think one thing is what I've alluded to a little bit, which is our approach. Our approach is done from a hi-fi perspective, and that might not mean a lot to some people, but to others it means a whole lot. And basically, to approach the design of a product from trying to use high-end components and trying to make these things sound really good, not just loud, but sound really amazing. I think it's just it's an approach that we benefit from absolutely in the Bluesound realm. So anyone who cares about hi-fi, about high resolution streaming, that's something that they really are going to need to look to Bluesound for, at least at the start. And then I would say one of the other main things that sets Bluesound and the Pulse 2i apart from its some of the competitors would be our operating system that runs it. So BlueOS is what we call that, and that is a bona fide multi-room system, and that system is incredibly flexible. Like I said, it's got solutions for every room in your house. So like multi-room audio is a thing. It's a fast-growing segment of the market, and our question or reasoning, our purpose really would be why not have high resolution, hi-fi sound throughout your whole home? Like, why would we settle for less than that? And so what we do with the BlueOS ecosystem is we provide solutions. We provide products kind of in many different price points that can do high resolution streaming, and you can get that hi-fi sound in any room in your home. So I would say those are the two main things that they're almost non-technical. They're more of an approach thing, but the two things that really set us apart from the competition are our approach to acoustics and our approach to amplification, which is very much a hi-fi approach, very much a value for money approach. And then the second thing would be our BlueOS ecosystem, which is just an absolutely amazing and flexible high-resolution multi-room platform.
You give owners a choice of using wired or wireless internet connections. Are there differences in the quality of the sound that they'll hear?
Yeah, we get that question a lot. Really, no, it would be the short answer to that. Now, what a wired connection does is provide stability, where wireless, you are at the mercy of, many different factors, including just how many wireless products you've got, and of course your signal strength and stuff, where, wiring a product really just creates just that stable connection. From a sound quality perspective, you really won't notice a difference unless your wireless connection was unstable. So wired or wireless, that's a good solution.
You work with a variety of streaming services. Go over some of the highlights there, both I guess regular and HD, or the higher quality.
Right. Yeah. We are now, we're adding music services to our integrations, to our BlueOS system all the time. We want people to have access to their content, and whatever streaming service they choose. So that's absolutely one of our ways of operating, is to add services all the time. So we have the big some of the big guys like Spotify, Spotify Connect. We have Apple Music integration through our AirPlay 2 integration. So those are like your large music streaming services. Those are the ones with the most amount of subscribers around the world. And then what's really important to us is that people are streaming in in those HD formats. So we do have integrations with all the leading high-res streaming services, and so Tidal would be one of those. Qobuz is another one that they launched within the last year or two within the U.S. And Deezer would be another one. Those companies all have a higher tier of streaming quality that are available to their customers. Tidal is a really interesting one and a good partner for us, especially because they focus on MQA. And so they do have a large MQA collection, and Bluesound is the world's largest ecosystem. Bluesound and BlueOS with our operating system is the largest ecosystem of MQA certified products. So we very much are fans of the MQA.
For people who aren't familiar
technology.
with MQA, describe that for us, what it is.
Yeah, MQA is a front to end, a front to back music technology codec technology system for delivering music to your ears, exactly as the artist intended it to sound. And so through a lot of amazing math and algorithms, what they are able to do is package very, very high quality files into smaller containers like FLAC containers, and they call it musical origami, but basically, they've encoded in mastering or at studio level with the MQA technology. They package that up. They call it musical origami, where it all folds over each other. They're able to efficiently deliver in the digital format a lot of information. And then what you need on the other end of that is a decoder with the MQA technology, which is what a Bluesound product is. And so you can unpackage a decoding product can unpackage that data properly and fully and unfold that origami. And then what you get is a pretty amazing experience, just being able to listen to some of these. For me, it was like being able to listen to some songs that I was very familiar with, and then hear it in MQA. And what I noticed the most was just a little more space. Like you just heard things that you hadn't heard before. So for MQA, it's very much they put a lot of work into the whole process, front to back, working with artists, working with producers, working with studios. And then, of course, working with the endpoint, the hardware manufacturers like ourselves to just create that front-to-back experience.
And the listening experience can be almost startling. So tell us, you also have products that'll connect if people have stereo systems that they can use to connect right into their existing systems, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we really, our aim is to provide solutions for every room, for really every use case. And the product you're talking about there is to be able to add to your existing stereo system and just add streaming to your amazing hi-fi system is what we call our Node 2i. So it is not a very large box, maybe the size of a hardcover book or something, and yeah, you just plug that into your system, your existing system, and you sign in on your music streaming service of choice, and you've got access to pretty much all the music in the world through your system now.
Where does pricing start in your range of products?
We start at $299 US, and this is on our Pulse Flex 2i speaker, all-in-one speaker. So, like I said, we have kind of a small, medium, large, all-in-one. We were talking earlier about the Pulse 2i, which is our large one. The Pulse Flex 2i is the smallest one. It starts at $299, and then you can step up to the Pulse Mini 2i, and that goes for $499. Pulse 2i is at $699. So $299, $499, $699. Just kind of step up, just depending on the size of your room, basically.
Terrific. And for more information, folks can go to bluesound.com. Matt Simmonds, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Cooking with the power of the sun. Hi, I'm Fred Fishkin, here to tell you about the latest innovation from my friend Patrick Sherwin and his great team at GoSun Stove. The GoSun Fusion has arrived using the company's tried and true reflectors and a solar vacuum tube to get you cooking without the mess of charcoal, heavy propane tanks, or smoke. A really bright idea. And with an optional solar panel and battery storage and the ability to plug in at home or on the road, you really can use the GoSun Fusion to cook anytime and anywhere, day or night, rain or shine. I love what Patrick and his team are doing, and so will you. Want to learn more? Head to gosun.co to check out all of the company's products and innovations, and use the code Techstination to save 10%. That's gosun.co.